Okay. Enrique or Kike? Which one do you like better?
It's as you wish. As this is a channel in English, you can call me Henry if you like. But
Henry,
I know
okay.
as Enrique is a very long and used for all people, I switch to Kike or Henry. Yes, it depends.
Yeah, okay. Let's go with Henry. Your actual name is Enrique in Spanish because you are from Argentina, right? So,
Yeah.
but let's go with Henry then. Yeah, the English version of
Yeah.
Enrique. Most important, you were just telling me that you're good, but you're right now in the bunker, right?
Exactly. We are here now in the bunker. Just few seconds before we start the live, the alarm was launched, so we take out everything and came here underground. And in fact, in 6 or 7 minutes, we are able to release the place because you need to stay here for 10 minutes. So if you heard
Right.
people speaking, it's the rest of the people who lives in the
Right. Henry is in Israel right now, and you've been living there for 2 years. Is it? You were telling me last time.
Just we spent 2 years last week. Just when everything starts, we
Right.
doubled 2 years.
Yeah. What an anniversary, right? 2 years
Yes,
anniversary.
we were preparing a picnic outside with another two families that made Aliyah with us. Yes, the people who came to live in Israel. And in the morning, we start to okay, we need to cancel, and everything started.
Yeah. Yeah. And it has it always. I mean, in your 2 years, is it very frequent that you get the alarm to go to the bunker, or is it more
Mm,
now because of?
No, it depends. No, if you live close to Gaza, yes, they used to launch rockets monthly, let's say, and they are very short-range rockets. They shoot directly straight to the village that are close to Gaza. So basically, we didn't hear about it. We can get the alarms if we wish to know every place in Israel, and they live with those reality. But here in the central area of Israel, it's not common. Usually once a year, around May, when it's the Independence Day of Israel, they shoot
Hmm.
a long-range rocket, but just the rocket, and the Iron Dome crashed them in the air. So probably if you are in the zone, the alarm sounds and you need to take care, but it's just a warning and it's once and that's it.
So closer to Gaza is maybe once a month, and if you're further away,
Monthly.
it's maybe once a year.
Yes, monthly they shoot something to the village straight ahead, so basically there is nothing to do but only the alarm and get take cover and that's it. Because they are very close. They are at 300 meters. Some kibbutz are over the fence
Yeah,
practically.
it is super close. I mean, it is right there. It's very
Yes.
difficult, and
Yes.
that's not even taking into account the. Yeah, Steven is telling me that. Sorry, I'm with a bit of a cold. The audio is because Kike is in a bunker right now in Israel with his family and neighbors. So, I mean, this is as good as it gets in terms of audio. Um,
Yes, probably as soon as the people is released, I'm going to take off the
yeah.
helmet.
No, I'm just explaining that that's why the audio is less than ideal. But I mean, it's good that we're able to at least communicate this way. It's great that we can at least do that. So the people, the ones in the West Bank, you have them on very close as I mean, there is where they just live like one next to the other, in the
Yes,
same communities.
in the West Bank or Cisjordania in Spanish, it's similar to the kidney, the shape. It's like
Yeah,
this shape, surrounding Jerusalem just in the middle. And there you
yeah.
have three main zones, A, B, and C. A is fully controlled by Palestine Authority. B zone is controlled by Palestine Authority, but the force is under the Israel command, and the
Hmm.
C zones are 100% over Israel. But the people who lives in Cisjordan West Bank, sorry, they can move freely inside the area, and
Yeah.
the Israelis are forbidden to go inside an A area. For example, me as an Israeli, I am forbidden to go to an area A. Even the Israeli army is going to take me out before I try to get in to avoid any unnecessary situation. But if I go as an Argentinian, as a tourist, etc., I can get inside.
Right. 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 That's super interesting because it seems that like in the West Bank, there's a lot more effort of well, it seems like people sort of find a way of living together in spite of all of the friction that exists. But it seems that in some cases, at least, people live together a little bit better. Would that be accurate?
Yes, it's true because the government is like non-fanatic religious, so they are moderate, let's say. And there is
Right.
small villages where Hamas is there. So there is where sometimes you hear something happening in West Bank.
Mm.
It's because there is a little group of Hamas or another
Yeah.
radical faces that is struggling, or they found that they are making mutual agreements to avoid any problems. So each time there's something
Right.
high, the Palestinian Authority calls to Israel or vice versa. It's like Fauda. If you ever saw the TV show, it's like the where the when you see that people from Israel is collaborating between people from Palestine, is in there in the West Bank.
Right. Right. And one of the things that I was curious about in terms of politics, do you have like is it like in Argentina where you have, or like in the United States where you have more right wing and left wing that have different approaches
Uh,
to?
Not so white and black. It's more like because here is like prime minister, so it's not like a president, and it's a
Yeah.
mix between the English and the Sherman government way. So you
Right.
vote to the party and not to the president,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
a very small party can make an argument in the decision. So basically, it's
Mm.
mixed, and the president is like for foreign businesses and relationship.
It's most the prime minister, the one that has the most power.
Yes, but sometimes you don't have a prime minister because they didn't form a government. They have
Right.
very
Right.
small
Mm.
groups of different banks, and they decide.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I get it now. Do you follow sports? I mean, and before we go on, congratulations on the third World Cup. Have you followed up for the American audience? They don't understand what that feels like, but did you get the chance to watch it over there, or?
Yes, in fact, we get a free TV when we used to live in the kibbutz in the north area when we arrived to Israel,
Yeah.
and they let once a year they give a lot of stuff out from the houses, and we get a free TV.
Really?
The day that the football match start, the TV turned off and never turns on again. So
No.
we lose the first one, but we went to buy a new one, and we reached to see the full
You,
soccer.
you got to see that. Do you have did you have to pay for to watch the World Cup, or was it on free TV of Israel?
No. Some channels transmit free over the internet, but if you want to see on TV, you need to pay.
Yeah.
But we saw the Argentinian channels from here because
Okay.
we like to see in Spanish, so that's why.
Oh, okay. So you can see the Argentine channels from Israel, and it's because in some parts it's blocked. So as to
Yes, sometimes they block
yeah,
from the region, and we need to
yeah.
use a VPN. But for example, we
Okay.
used to see Telefe on the dinner time here is the lunch time there in Argentina.
Right. Yeah. Do you
Wait a
stay?
second, the dog
Yeah.
the dog was trying to run out. I am alone now in the bunker.
Do you have the? Do you want to go back, or do you need, or can you continue talking?
No, it's okay. I will stay here to avoid to lose the connection. Here I am on the cellular red net, so it's
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Great. Nice. Do you follow much of the news in Argentina? You stay in touch with that, or
Yes, not last week because for obvious
yeah,
reasons, I am not following the news from here.
local?
But
Mm.
yes, I am close up to date to the Argentinian news, and so I saw the debate here also.
Who do you like? I mean, we'll talk more about Israel right now, but who do you like in terms of politics of Argentina? Do you like Milei more?
In this case, the clear election is for Milei. In
Yeah,
this, if you saw the other participants, is Milei the at least to solve the economics once, and later we can see it later, but to solve once
yeah,
for all.
yeah. Definitely not Massa. None of the ones that are currently from.
No, 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 no.
Yeah, I don't know if it. Do you ever think about going back to Argentina? That's one of the things that most, or is that something
Mm,
that?
not so, not for now. I never say no, but not for the moment.
Hmm,
No,
yeah,
no. In my case, in case I decide to go out from Israel, probably I go to Europe or another country before to get back to Argentina, unless something happens. As I told you
yeah,
in the Spanish channel, only for family and friends, I
yeah.
probably get back to Argentina. Otherwise, there is nothing.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, especially in this channel, in my English channel, people, mostly it's American audience, they don't understand what it's like to go to another country, leave your country behind. It's like a very odd thing, and um, it doesn't mean that you don't like your country or that you're not patriotic, because we are
No,
very.
it's for the situation. In fact, it was the country receives my grandfather who came from Poland to Argentina in the World War II. It
Right.
gives all the opportunities, and now it's taking out all the opportunities. So that's
Yeah,
why
right.
we decide to go out.
Right. You do that in spite of the feelings that you have, mostly because, as we talked before, the future for your kids and for yourself, right?
Mhm. Yes,
That's what.
basically the culture and the safety in in the streets. Okay, now we are in the war here, but basically I feel safer going out outside here with the in the middle of the war that in Argentina, which everyone in the streets is a potential
Yeah, yeah,
something. It can be anywhere, and I see the drugs in the schools, and it's increasing a lot. So basically, the future for the kids is very hard in most Latin American countries, not just Argentina.
yeah, yeah. That is so true, because I mean, it's as you just said. You're in Israel right now. We saw what happened last week, and yet at the same time, you're telling me that you feel safer there than in Argentina.
Yes, basically yes. I go outside everywhere. I don't care about to leave the phone to see someone. I sometimes I forget to close the car, and here nothing happened. And in Argentina, it's something impossible to do.
You were telling me that you were robbed in Argentina right before you left. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience of yours?
Yes, it was 1 week before I get married. I was going to pick up my pants from the to make it shorter, and someone tried to pick up my phone in a motorbike. He picked up the phone, he took it from my hands, and as soon he puts the phone in his pocket, took out the pistol and shoot me. The bullet didn't go out.
Right, right.
And it's a few years before, when I was young, you heard a knowledge from a knowledge who has been robbed.
Yeah,
Later, everyone has been, and now everyone you met in Argentina once in their life has been robbed.
yeah,
And now you need to say, thanks God, they don't kill you.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing. It's living like that all day long that drives you crazy, and it's not because it's not that you're paranoid. It's because it's happening all the time. As you just said,
Exactly.
it happened to people that, oh, it happened to a neighbor, it happened to a friend, and then it eventually happens to you. And as you said, I mean, I would, if I had to guess, he had a gun that was either unloaded, or he didn't have a round in the chamber, or something like that, because he pulled the trigger and it didn't fire,
he
right?
pulled the trigger, and I heard the click. So I
Right,
assumed that the bullet didn't work. It was Versa. So
right.
I guess the bullet didn't work because it's most probably that. Then, and when I went to make the allows to the police office, they told me, you need to bring something and witnesses. And you're kidding me? There's someone here, 2 blocks here. They shoot me with, but you need to go to the police station. What?
Yeah,
And later, I know a lot of stories that people who was getting inside their houses, and meanwhile they are getting inside, people gets with you, they shoot to the ground, they tied you, they hit you, and everything that you can imagine, it can happen.
yeah, yeah,
Few
yeah,
years ago, if you let them alone, you leave everything, and probably they didn't hurt you. But now you can.
yeah.
It's just flip a coin, and you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's a lot. They lost all. It used to be that, yeah, well, take whatever you want. You take my cell phone. If you remain cool, maybe. But now, just because, and it's a combination of things. It's a degradation of core values that they don't have anymore. Life is not
Hmm.
worth anything. They don't go to jail because
Exactly. Or for there, go to shell is nothing. And by
yeah,
the way, if you defend by yourself and you kill them,
yeah,
or whatever is going, you are in a madness of lawyers, and probably you are going to jail. There is a very
yeah,
acknowledged story from a medical who was going out from his house,
yeah,
and the guy who was over him with the car shoot him, etc. He kills the robber, and he
yeah,
was in the middle of a legal battle in the middle of nowhere. The family from the guy burns his
yeah.
house, everything. And you say, why? Why there is no the? You have another trouble there.
Yeah, yeah, because it's a political system. It's a political, well, all the peronista, all the kirchnerista. It's always very much favoring the criminal. Always they get voted by the. In other countries, criminals cannot vote. In Argentina, criminals can vote. That that's
Yes,
that's
exactly.
that's crazy. In other countries, a criminal has no right to go and vote for more criminals like him. In Argentina, they just go and vote for politicians that protect criminals. So
Exactly.
that's why you have this problem. And I look, you just said it yourself. There's been people that left from Syria, refugees that went to live in Argentina, and then they said, "I'd rather go back to Syria than live in Argentina." Or people that went from Ukraine to Argentina, and then they said, "I'd rather go back to Ukraine than keep living in Argentina." It's that bad for people that are not used to living with so much violence and crime on the streets all day long.
Because you are alone by yourself, and also if
Yeah,
you defend by yourself, the system is against you.
yeah,
So in fact, they are not just saving you; they are forcing you to make some things that you don't want to do. That's why
yeah,
it's a very struggle situation. There is a lot of people who doesn't want to get armed or defend by themselves, and they simply rely on what they decide to do because you are screw
yeah.
the road that you decide to take.
Yeah, no matter what. And I've heard many times the stories of when I made the decision of leaving. Um, I had heard so many stories of people that were thinking about leaving, and just like a few weeks before they did, something happened to them. Either they got shot in a robbery, or they broke into the house and they did something terrible to the family. Always people that just because they didn't make they didn't change exactly, they didn't
Mhm.
leave in the right moment, they had to pay for that. And I always thought I don't want to be one of those that waited too long, waiting too long
Exactly.
until something happens that ruins your life.
Exactly.
um,
This is exactly what happens to us. It's like you live like with the donkey with the carrot over the. You always think that you are reaching the carrot, No,
Yeah.
but things are going to change because now it's something different. No, because they telling me
Yeah.
now that you never reach the carrot. So that's
Yeah.
why. Uh,
Yeah. It's difficult, but it's a tough decision. Not everyone can do it, and you have to be very respectful of people that think different. That's
it's
people that
even-
stay.
I exactly. I know a lot of people who decide to stay. Okay, it's your decision. I'm not going to be
Yeah.
against you. This is what I am deciding.
Yeah. I'm rooting for you. I want you to do great. I want Argentina to do great, to be the best country in the world. That would be nothing would make me happier. But the reality is that as of right now, the quality of life you have is nowhere near as good as it could be in our places. So
Hmm. Exactly.
unfortunately, that's how it goes. When did you get started in prepping? You told me that you were following my Spanish channel for a while. Is that something you've always been interested in, or how did you start in
Yes,
the prepping journey?
I don't know how it started, but I think because my grandfather came from the war, with World War II, from Poland to Argentina. So basically, we live with his values that always have enough food in cans, lot of oil. The oil was always there. No, you always had to give oil, food in cans, water. You need to be ready. You need to be
Yeah,
ready always. And it's not because you are a paranoid, because it's better to be prepared for something that could happen, that be in the middle of nothing and knowing doesn't know what to do. Um, so basically, I always making something for preparedness, let's say, at the minimum level or urban level, but always
yeah,
something. I
yeah.
always live with my first Victorinox. My aunt gave it to me when I was 12. And since then, I always been with the Victorinox in my pocket. I
Oh, really?
always
Yeah,
was the guy. Yeah, yes. So I always was the guy who he has the scissor or a corkscrew or whatever, because everyone
yeah,
knows that. And I was the MacGyver guy in the middle of the nowhere to solve something.
yeah,
Uh, and yes,
yeah.
and
That,
when I met your channel, I said, okay, oh, it looks nice. This guy is very interesting because he's basically saying everything I did in my house is basically saying the same. So that's why I
I'm
started
not. I'm
following.
not crazy. There's someone else like me. I'm not
I
crazy.
am not the only one. I am not the only one.
Right.
Exactly. I am not
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah, no, no, no. Yeah, that is so true. I was remembering right now that even in school, I always had like a pocket knife with me, like since I was like 10 years old, and even in school in Buenos Aires, like the teachers eventually knew that I always had a knife. So if a teacher had to cut something in class, for like a project, they were, hey, Fernando, could you give me your
Yeah,
knife? And look how
exactly.
crazy it is because someone watching this in the United States, it's unthinkable right now that a kid will go into a class with a pocket knife or a folder and just
Exactly.
bring it out in the middle of or like dear God in UK it's you cannot
No,
even
it's
have that
forbidden.
in the streets, forbidden, you go to jail. And I mean we had shooting lessons in my school. We lived in Banfield, no, in
Hmm.
sur de Buenos Aires. In my school, um, a few years ago, you had shooting classes in the same school with
Hmm.
air rifles and then with 22. There was a Diana, there was like a
Hmm.
galleria, una galería de tiro, in the right next to the patio for breaks, and you shot there. And now that's
Yeah.
unthinkable. That is impossible.
Yes, if you go with the slingshot, you are like, oh no, it's a
You're
mass
crazy.
destruction weapon. Yes, yes, yes,
So, do
exactly.
you remember what model of Victorinox it was that you had?
Yes, for
Or
sure. Yes, it was the old Sportman without the keyring. My first Victorinox, it was that. Later, I bought the Swiss Champ to have
ah,
everything in one. I used to have only when I need to go for something, when I need to, everything in one small size. And now I am have a combination of a Leatherman, the rebar, plus the climber of Victorinox. So I have the knife, scissors, corkscrew, and small things from the Victorinox, and the heavy duty pliers from the river. And it's a very small package. It's a very underrated model of Leatherman because everyone goes to the Wave or the
Yeah,
most
yeah,
expensive model. And it's a very small one, the shape, so you can
yeah.
combine them and it's a very lightweight combination.
The rebar. The rebar is a very good model. I have one.
Mhm.
It's very
Yeah,
compact.
exactly.
And it used to be even cheaper. There was a time in which you could buy it for $50 or so. It used to be even cheaper than it is now.
Mhm.
And you combine that with a climber of a Victorinox.
Yes. So if I need to go lighter, I only go with the Victorinox. If I can go with both of them, I wear them. And in the keys, now I have a Micra, all the Micra model from Leatherman,
Yeah.
because it came in a combo with the River, so I have it. It's
Oh,
like
nice.
the small sister. It's the small version.
Yeah.
It's basically the scissors in the Micra, but I need to say the quality of the Micra is way lower than the quality of the Victorinox. Even if the main tool is the scissor,
Yeah.
the classic SD from Victorinox is you can cut the smallest thing that you can imagine, and with the Micra, it came with the light in the middle, so I need to close them
Uh,
with a needle, and now it's okay.
Victorinox always has super quality. It's like very fine machining that they do. It's
Yes.
very high quality. And that is part of your EDC. You always make sure you have either your Victorinox or your Leatherman with you.
Exactly. Yes. Here in this moment, I have the Victorinox in my pocket because we need to run.
Yeah.
So wait a
Well,
second.
that's perfect example. You're in a bunker right now,
I
and
am in the bunker with
there you go.
and here is
Yeah,
it.
nice.
And I let here in the bunker some stuff. I have a security light to charge the phone, water, food, a mini oven from camping. The
Yeah,
camping stuff, basically the camping stuff is basically to make a perfect EDC. It's light, it's cheap,
yeah,
and you can travel everywhere with that. So we bring some water, soups, and I have it everything like that. Some baby stuff, water,
yeah,
etc. This is the and this is something I don't really like it. The taste, the Badger, water Badger from Camelback. Uh, Even if it's a very expensive model, it tastes like plastic. So
yeah.
you need to be
Plastic.
you need to. It's just to keep a lot of water to cook or clean your hands or something like that. But be
Yes.
aware, every time it's going to taste like plastic. Even if it's a very expensive model, always tastes
Yeah.
like plastic.
Yes, I don't like it either. I think it always leaves like and once you get used to, I only drink from glass and steel. My bottles,
Exactly.
like in my videos, like I always try to. I mean, I have some plastic bottles, but I always try to go with stainless steel bottles. And in my house for drinking, we always use glass because plastic you
Exactly.
just taste
Mhm.
it, and if you taste it, it's there. You're drinking chunks. You're drinking little bits of plastics for sure.
Yes,
Um,
once you are used to drink from aluminum or glass, you
yeah,
cannot get back to plastic.
just tastes like crap. It's true, and I think it has a health impact in the long run, especially for kids. Us that we have kids, you're always thinking, what about a lifetime of always
Mhm.
drinking from the plastic? I just use water. I just filter it with a Berkey filter, with a
Mhm.
Berkey filter with ceramic elements, the ceramic filters, and it goes from there to a couple glass bottles in the fridge, and that's what we drink. So for eating for the house.
Yes, we
Um,
use the can that filters the water from the line, and
yeah,
it's drinkable, but we take out everything that can be inside the pipes with that.
yeah. What model of filter is it? Do you know? Or
Yes, it's the Brita model is
Brita?
made of
Yeah,
activated carbon and some
yeah. I
marketing
use
stuff
that
in
a
the
lot.
middle.
I use it a lot. The Brita in UK is very popular. I think it's all over the world, but and it's very good. It does a nice. The water tastes a lot better.
Yes,
So
and we used
it's a nice
to make
solution.
soda here with the soda stream. So
Yeah, that's good. What else do you have in terms of your EDC? What is it that you carry in your pockets all day, or
I
keys,
when
or
Yes, I move it to a pouch to be more comfortable in the pockets. I have
uh,
a lighter, a mini light from a LED Lenser with only one AAA battery. I am old-fashioned more in that some cases for those
yeah?
things. Um, a mini kit from sourcing that they give it in a hotel to repair some clothes.
Ah, yes,
Uh,
yes.
the pencil, paper, 3M notes, sticky notes, and for sure I don't know in English how they say the curita,
Ah, yeah. Band-aids,
the
like
band-aid,
band-aids.
band-aid,
Yeah,
band-aid,
yeah,
band-aid
yeah.
is the brand, and ibuprofen and most used and gloves for surgery in case I need to take something from the ground that it's dirty.
Yeah. Right. That's good.
I always bring 3M a mask before the
Ah, yeah.
corona
3M.
even.
Yeah.
Yes, always before, even before the corona. In case there is a fire or something, you need to wear something over your mouth to be aware of
Yeah.
the particles.
Yeah, that's great, and it's crazy that only COVID made people think about these things, because for many of us, the idea of having hand sanitizer and having a respirator, or a collapsible mask, or something just to filter in case of smoke, dust, debris, any of those things. Um, we were thinking about it before COVID. It wasn't anything new, but for a lot of people, it was, oh, now we have to. What has changed? I mean, since the attacks, what has changed in terms of your prepping? Are you thinking something different? Like, oh,
Uh,
now I think about
Here,
this.
uh, yes, I bring the stuff to the bunker directly, so I don't need to move it from one place to another.
Right.
But before that, I used to have a backpack with a lot of stuff, but not for the attack. In case
Uh-huh.
an earthquake or a fire or whatever, I pick up that backpack and that's it. And the problem is always the clothes from the kids because it's you need to decide only one bag, but small, because a
Yeah.
bigger one is very heavy to move it, or you need to put more clothes, etc. So I now that it's summer and it's not winter, it's easier because with a small package of clothes you can fulfill a lot of stuff.
Right.
And in my case, I have a problem with the shoes because I am 10.5, 11 US size, so I cannot put anything inside the backpack. Otherwise, I'm going to only put a pair of shoes.
With shoes. Well, but you leave it in the bunker already. Which is a smart thing to do. Just leave it there, so as to
Hmm.
not have to run back and forth.
Exactly.
Are your neighbors taking it okay? How do you see them adapting? Are they scared? What would be
Uh,
your opinion?
yes, it depends. The people who born here and they are used to once a year, something like that. Every
Mhm.
time that they started, it's something that warms you up, gives a shot of adrenaline, etc. But uh, they are more used to. In fact, I saw is only the people I saw. It's not something. It's not a fact.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys
Well,
are more the men's are more used to the alarm than the women's.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I cannot say it's something statistical or
yeah.
scientific. But
It is. I mean, it's politically incorrect to say it, but it is
exactly,
scientific. It's just the way it is. Men and women are different, and women are good at some things, and men are good at other things, and we're different. But women will react in moments of crisis. Men are supposed to be a little bit more cool-headed and stronger emotionally than women. It's just the way it's supposed to be. There's always
yes, yes.
exceptions, but yeah, uh,
Sometimes when you expect less from someone, it's the guy
yeah,
or the woman that is going to surprise you. I saw a lot of cases that people who is the smallest one, the thinnest one, etc., and they were the first to get out from somewhere to help everyone or yelling to warn everyone. So it's so always there is a factor of surprise.
A surprise factor. Yeah,
Yeah.
and as always, there's always exceptions. There's women that are super. Um, there's women that have very masculine traits of like very strong character and determined in times of crisis, and there's men that fall apart. But in general, I would say that in general,
Mhm.
guys tend to be a little bit better in emergencies and high stress moments. Women seem to keep their shit together better sometimes when it comes to accepting things that are how should women are better in terms of the family stuff, like keeping together the family, the kids, dealing with the kids, not yelling unnecessarily. Guys are a little bit more, which is understandable. Men are a bit more aggressive in their approach of fixing things through violence than women.
Yes,
I
but
don't know.
it is. I think it really depends of how you live your life or how you are trained. For example,
Yeah, that's
here
also
when everything started here in the south, there was a kibbutz where a girl from 25 she was in charge of the security of the place, but she was in charge.
yeah.
And she was the first one who said it sounds something different.
She
Something is
started
different.
bringing out the guns, right? She
She
organized the
took
security.
she,
She
yeah
took charge. Yes.
she really jumps very fast
Mhm.
and warns everyone and start to give the weapons to everyone who is in charge of the
Right.
security of the kibbutz and delivers a very very good defense. I think they break every attempt to get inside the kibbutz. So
Yeah.
there you can see as of course she's trained because the
Yeah.
army here is mandatory for women and men and women.
Yeah.
So basically, I think there is where you need to rely on the difference. How you are used to do something.
Yeah.
If you are used to do something from a different way, is where you can get the difference.
No, of course, and I'm talking about like broad generalizing. There's and
Mhm,
we're people, we're individuals. There's always
mhm,
the exception. There's as I said before, there's guys that suck. I mean, I know guys that are cops that shouldn't be police officers, and there's videos I've covered in the channel. Guys that are cops and they have
exactly.
they have a mental breakdown and they start shooting and they don't know what they're doing, and there's women that keep their head together and perform super well in times of stress.
Mhm.
Training does help, definitely. I read the story of the woman you're talking about. I think she was active IDF, right?
By the age, no, because
No, no.
she's 25, but she was in charge of the security of the kibbutz.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
she
Okay.
was by the age she was out of the IDF because
I read
it's
that.
from
Yeah.
it's
Go
from
go ahead.
18. It's
Yeah.
at age of 18, and women's are used to 2 years and guys 3 years mandatory.
Okay, so she would have been out by the time she was 21,
Hmm.
and she was 25 now, but she was in charge of the security of the kibbutz. And did she
Hmm.
have? I read that she started like giving away guns. Is she the one that has like the keys to the armory, or she has access to the guns on that place? Would that be correct?
Probably because she was in charge of the security, and there is probably a place to keep all the large weapons.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I read as well. There was also a Mexican guy that stabbed
Yes,
the Hamas guy and took his gun.
yes, and also
That's pretty
yes,
bad.
I saw that. And there is a lot of there is another one from an old woman. She was at her house, Rachel, and she gives them cookies. And when
Yeah,
the people start to eat the cookies, the special forces get inside their houses and kill the terrorists. And
yeah.
she saw that she said it was not a strategy. I saw them very hungry, and I thought a hungry guy is more a violent guy, so I give them food.
Yeah,
And while they start to eat, the people get in and they kill them.
they got it. I saw one, and this is the kind of thing that you don't see a whole lot. It was from the. It's sort of like Israeli Channel 12. Is it? Is that a channel there? Channel 12.
Yes, it's one of the channels from here.
Yeah, so a woman from the Channel 12, she said that they got in, and she thought they were all, and the guy said, no, they asked for a banana, a banana, a banana from the
Yes.
kitchen. They ate the banana, they stayed there, and they just left. So I think they were either very hungry, some of them. I mean, who knows what they were, the orders, the plans that they had, who was targeting
Some
specifically what. It's so.
Yes, some of them were caught with the plans and the shooting place and every place that they need to get there. And
To get to, right?
yes, they found, for example, here is the kindergarten, here is the hospital, here is and what
They had the
they need
maps,
to do. And yes, they have
right?
the maps. The other ones, I think they are very irregular forces. So that's what is more dangerous because as they are irregular, you don't know what they are going to do.
Yeah, it depends on who happens to go through, and this is the case. Look, we were just talking about before crime in Argentina. You don't know if he's gonna steal your phone. You don't know if he has if he has a plan of, yeah, we have to go here and do this, and he doesn't harm you in the process, or he just shoots you or shoots your dog or your son or burns the entire place down. You're always in the hands of a complete stranger, which is
Hmm.
never good. Getting stabbed in Argentina, it makes you just as dead as getting a freaking bomb over your head, or it doesn't matter. You're still dead, and whatever you can do so as to control that, well, that's where I think preparedness comes into place. The more tools you have to face
Hmm.
these situations. Are you thinking? Well, we were talking before about guns and such. Is that something that's still in your head? Would you like to get training, or
Weekly, I request the permission to get a weapon here, but until they didn't change the law to be more easy to get the weapon here, I am not
now
able
they
right now
should?
to.
Now they should be
They are
100%.
talking about that. They are talking about that. I don't know which is the direction by the moment, but they are
Yeah,
talking about to be less restrictive. For
right.
sure, it's not going to be as easy as in United States, for
No,
sure,
no.
but something in the middle, something that.
Right. It's something in them. I would be more than okay, if they want to have you get some training, which I think you need. I mean, when you drive a car, you
Exactly
need to
this.
get a
Exactly.
license to drive a car, mostly so as to not crash and kill people. So if and it's not different in the United States. So as we have a concealed carry license in most states, you do have to pass some kind of qualification course. So it's not something that unheard of, and I think it makes sense. Yeah, it would be nice if they would make that easier, right?
At least, like you said, exactly the same as a driverless license. Exactly
Yeah,
the same. In
yeah.
fact,
Hey,
if you have a license for a big truck, you are in hands of something that can make a lot of struggle.
yeah. I mean, some of the worst attacks that were done in Europe were. I mean, the worst attack in Europe was with
Hmm.
a car. What was it in Nice?
In Nice, in France, also.
That guy killed almost
Uh,
100 people with that truck.
yes, yes, and also in New York a few years ago, a guy
Yeah,
killed a lot of. I think it was five of them.
Argentines.
They were sometimes. Yes,
Yeah.
they were a
Yes.
tourist there.
Yeah, they killed a bunch of Argentines that were on a trip over there riding bicycles in Central Park, and the
Exactly.
guy
Yes.
drove over them. Yeah, that's insane. So whenever people, and man, this brings us around again to when people have evil intentions, there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
Exactly.
They will
Exactly.
find a way of hurting you.
Exactly. Even with a small tramontina, small kitchen knife, you can do a lot of mess in the streets.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of damage. Hey, let me go through some. I don't want to take. I imagine you want to go back to the family. Let me go through some of the questions here quickly, in case. Someone was asking about Mike Rivera. Guys, there in the comments, if there's any questions you'd like me to ask Enrique before he goes, Mike Rivera says, are soldiers putting out information? Are they running security for movement? Is there more restriction of movement now? Are they controlling more?
No, in fact, there is a green, yellow, and red zones here in Israel that for the moment, if you're in a red zone, the schools are closed. There is more alarms because you are close to the
Right.
hottest area. But if you are in a green or yellow zone, they are starting to open the shops, and you can see more people in the streets. But there is no, in fact, a restriction. It's a request. They are requesting you to be close to your house or close to the safest area.
Right. Well, so they're asking you to stay close and not get too far from your house, your bunkers, and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Is that why they do that?
Yes, you have here an application. It's called Home Front Command, and is where you have all the information that you need to be aware of.
Nice. Okay. And in terms of travel, and so what's the current situation with like airports? Can you travel abroad right now? Is there airports are open right now? Correct.
The airport is open. Some flight companies are not flying here, but the airport is open. The El Al is the national airline here. It's open, but of course, it's now get a ticket from moving here is quite a bit difficult. But you can go through Jordan, or you can move from a different place.
Yeah. Like the borders there are open and people are moving.
Yes. In fact, the people from the TVs, the news from Argentina, they fly to Jordan, I think they told us, and they cross to Israel by land. But because the airport at that moment was closed for, not the airport, the airline was closed.
Yeah. That's well, and that's what we're talking about. Like before, when we did it in Spanish, the idea of always having like a bug out plan or ways of, well, at least something in terms of if I have to move, I could go here. That's also something that is. What would be the thing that you think has changed more for you since the attacks? What is it that had made you? Is there anything that changed your mind in ways you didn't expect, or has there
I am
been
aware of, yes, I am aware of what is going on in the north, because there is Hezbollah and is basically the sons of Iran, and what is going to be the next move from Iran. Basically, is that if this place turns to an Ukrainian situation, probably is when I decide to move, because it will be a long-term and hard situation. But otherwise, I hope that basically what's happening in the north is just because they need to do something, because they need to back up the Hamas terrorist team.
They have to do something.
Say, yes, here I am supporting you, but I'm not going to do something more. Now the surprise factor, it's lost by the terrorists, so they are probably moving something, but not so big. I guess. I hope so.
Yeah, I would make the same guess. I would say that the attack is the attack was their shot. You know, they had all their chips, all their they put everything in doing that. They had been planning it for what I mean. I know as much as you do. They said they'd been planning it for 2 years. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think that whatever they had in terms of resources, they put all of that in doing that one shot. And
exactly,
as of right
because
now,
I hope so, because they made the rockets with the water pipes. They take out the water pipes to make the rockets, so that's why they lost water in the south. And I don't know how much more they can get. And also they lose, it's official, they lose the control of Gaza right now. There is it's a cephalus right now, Gaza from Hamas. And the Israeli army was warning the area to leave the place to all the civilians. They extend the 24 hours to 10 more hours. They call everyone, drop off a lot of notes to leave the area, and Hamas is blocking the civilians to leave the place. So I don't know if they're going to be a land incursion or not. It's something that we are not going to be aware until it happens
that's
or
a
not.
shit show, because what I mean, what you go in there and do what exactly? What would be
No,
you?
they are going to try to release the hostages if they can get information from where they are, because they have like 120 hostages right now in Gaza.
And how do you know that they're not already buried under the rubble?
Exactly, it's what we is. No one can tell the truth about that, and where are they and how they are. It's something that
If there was this is where for me I mean I'm always, and the more I got into preparedness, the more I distrust like the governments, like what says what the United States says, uh, and what I mean, in Argentina, we don't believe a single word of the current administration, right? We know that they're lying to us all the time. And I thought, oh, other places are better. And no,
no
You're,
the
it's
politicians are
always
all the same in the whole world. The politicians are politicians. It's like
it,
a dog breed. They are all the same. They are cut by the same knife.
I don't believe a word. You know, I'm super distrustful of most of their intentions because, for example, oh no, we now want to go and release the houses. No, you don't, because there's rubble. What are you going to look under every stone? I mean, and what was the point of taking hostages? What the point of taking hostages was we put them where we don't want you to bomb because you're going to be. Avoiding killing the hostages. Well, no, you bombed already. So now you go what, to save the hostages? No, I don't see the point in going in. Honestly, I mean that's my unprofessional and uninformed estimation. But I don't see Iran escalating. I don't see Iran invading. I mean, I would look at it very carefully because, as you just said, if you start seeing bigger players like that, I would also take. I wouldn't stay. If any neighboring nation with a real army starts moving like ajedrez, like moving piezas, like moving chips. If I see strategic movements of really having incursions of or an extended war, I would get the hell out of there. But as of right now, I don't think that's the case. You know,
I don't think so. Also, because they have more to lose than to win. What they
yeah.
can prove, they are not going to. It's more than they can lose than they can win.
But there's still a possibility of
Always.
any terrorist attack, like either lone wolf or someone that was infiltrated, or there's
Yes, no,
always
lone wolf. Lone wolf. There is always a situation that here the police is
stabbing.
used.
Yeah,
Always, they are used to deal with that, and basically the lone wolf came from the West Bank, from those villages, and usually it's one guy who is burning head looking at TV shows that they are telling, do it for me, do it for whatever you want to
yeah,
call it.
yeah.
And one day they decide to do something, and it's very small thing that they can do. Basically, they neutralize them in the moment, and
Yeah.
is what they can do.
Maybe carrying, I mean, personally, you know, just I would look at maybe having your, I don't know if you do you have like an EDC bag or just the pocket pouch? Do you have a bag with you in your daily activities, or
Usually, I put the pouch in a small bag to add water and the computer and whatever I need to go to the
right,
work.
right?
And basically,
That's
it's
it.
that what I carry. Yes, because in the pouch I have the essential kits, and the rest is the phone and money.
So yeah, maybe I would like have like a tourniquet if you don't have one already. Have a tourniquet there
Uh,
just in case.
Hmm.
That would make sense.
Yes, I was thinking about that to both professional one, not a handmade one,
Yeah,
and I was thinking also with the a vest, not for a bulletproof, for a ripstop
yeah.
to
So as you
avoid a
have
knife
stuff.
attack. Yes,
Yeah.
we are
Is it?
closing to the winter. It's easier to carry with the chest.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, the
Hmm.
tourniquet makes sense. It's not super expensive. You can buy
Hmm.
one for like 15-20 bucks, and and if someone is stabbed or hurt, it's much better to use a tourniquet because we always think that it's easy to improvise the tourniquet, but if you use a real tourniquet, you have to press it very. Have you ever used a real tourniquet once?
I had a small demonstration with a dummy in first aid
First
session
aid.
I had a long time ago.
Yeah.
I used it with the dummy mannequin.
Well,
But in fact, I always remember what happened to the Alfonsine's granddaughter in the
yeah,
college. And I always
yeah,
said I always forget to pick one. I always do
yeah.
forget to.
Well, she would have died. I think it was very clear. She was poor girl. She died. She bled to death. She accidentally went through a glass door. She crashed
Mhm.
through it, and the glass cut her like in the femoral artery, but very high. I think that was so high that they couldn't
It
even put
wasn't
a
enough. Yes.
tourniquet.
Yes.
In that case, what you need is the hemostatic gauze, like the quick cloth.
Hmm.
The quick
Yes.
clot, that is a little bit more expensive, but you can pack the wound with that. And there's a couple channels. I have to add this in the Spanish channel as well. There's a guy that is like a EMT. He specializes on stopping bleeding. You can pack the wound even with a T-shirt. If you pack it strong enough, you can stop
Hmm.
bleeding from places where you would otherwise use the hemostatic gauze. So I would have the gauze, I would have the tourniquet, and if not at first, just the tourniquet, and then just the packing of the wound with some other with some other gauze that is not the fancy expensive one, you know.
Hmm. Yes, in that case, you need to get help because it's almost impossible to use it by yourself, but it's something that you can use with the other one.
Yeah, yeah. Any other things that do you have to do you try to keep like a little bit of extra cash in the house just in case? Is that something that you think about
Uh,
or
no, just I always have it with my documents, the passports, the
yeah,
enough money to buy the flying ticket, at least a close place. And
yeah,
always,
yeah,
it's not a big amount of money that can make interesting for someone to steal it, but
yeah, but enough.
enough to get out of the place. Yes,
Yeah,
always the
that's
car
always a good
with
idea.
enough. Yes, the car with enough fuel in the tank, and check always the as you are going to trip to holidays. Always, I keep the car
Yeah.
as most up to date, everything work in place.
Yes, yes. They always with a half tank, or I try to like one third, not under one third of the tank, so as to always have some
Exactly.
fuel there. Yeah, that's always a good idea. Hey, I have this Steve Bishop. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Fernando and Enrique, for these timely topics. I would love to hear discussion on use of body armor types during these violent times. Well, you were telling me that you were looking at getting like some a stab-proof vest, right?
Yes,
Is that
here
something that is
it's allowed.
available?
Yes, here is allowed to civilians to carry. The problem with the other type of vest is the summer. Here we are under
Yeah,
39, 40 degrees during the summer. With
yeah,
over a vest, it's almost impossible to wear. But
yeah,
now we are close to the winter. We are with this situation. So a low level for a knife attack under the something
yeah.
bigger from the winter, it's okay.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. And it's not
Mhm.
always. Maybe when you're going to like the more populated places for,
Yes.
I don't know,
Mhm.
if, for example, if I had to go once a week or a couple times a week to a downtown, maybe you put it on
Mhm.
then and you don't use
Exactly.
it all day long. That's more like a precaution and like insurance, not
Mhm.
all day. but armor, yeah, I'm a big believer in, if you can have armor, body armor, that's always nice. Especially in times. I mean, something like what just happened. If I hear something like that, you put on your armor, you have your rifle, you have a nice chance of defending yourself
Mhm.
if someone is kicking down your door.
Yes,
Uh,
there was a lot of videos from people filming with the cell phone via TikTok or live action instead
yeah,
of having the phone. If you have a mouse or any AR-15, Glock 19,
yeah,
Mossberg
whatever.
500, any whatever, they were just
Better than
there
the phone.
under your balcony. You can shoot them like nothing. They were
Yeah, like
completely
fish.
not aware. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
or even when they start like kicking down your door, uh,
yes,
because honestly, if I see them like going by, and I know there's security forces that will respond, then maybe you don't engage with them as they go by on the street. But if they're kicking down your door, the same like with a home invasion, once they're kicking
yes.
down your door, if you have something and you're ready, even with a shotgun, you can just blast them as they go through the door.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly. A 1270 with the slag.
Yeah, yeah. I would
That's
have
it.
it with buckshot, because you know why, with buckshot it's better because you have more of a chance of hitting the neck or the legs. If they have
Yes,
body
yes, yes, yes.
armor, if they have armor, buckshot is gonna be more likely to hit something that matters. So I
Mhm.
would have it with buckshot, shotgun, yeah, or the AR, but something instead of filming with a phone as they start breaking in and looking, to do
Exactly.
whatever they want. Always a better idea. Anyway, Enrique, I mean, thank you a lot for this again, and for your time and sharing your experience. Is there any last thing you'd like to tell people?
Um,
Any thoughts?
no, just be aware of your surroundings every time as you can. Don't be, as we say in Argentina, don't no estés regalado on the street.
Yeah,
Don't be a gift for the someone because
yeah,
there's always someone trying to make something bad, and you need to be the less easier to steal in the street or whatever. You need
yeah.
no, you don't need to be the best. You need to be the less easy to do
Yeah,
something.
being a little bit of what is called like a hard target, or at least no, don't be the softest target there always is, right? And the harder you can make yourself, or the less appealing you can make yourself, or anyone that is looking to hurt you and your family, the better it is.
Exactly, and always
Basically,
low
that's
profile.
always a profile. Exactly. Anyway, hey, stick around because I'll end the transmission here. I'll end the live stream, but we can keep on talking for a couple seconds. Okay.
Okay,
Okay, Enrique. Well, thank you very much, and that's gonna be all for now, guys. As always, see you next time here in the channel. Take care.
thank you.